deep diving into these cases is like dancing with the devil. But when you dance with the devil doesn't change. He changes you. Hello, everyone. Justice for all, hey dude. Angie B, Dave BMX, Donna S, Holly, Kim Maple. So, gotta apologize for not starting when I was originally going to. I don't know what happened. I never ever sleep in, like ever. But for some reason, I guess my body needed it. I woke up at 11:40 to an alert on my phone, and yeah, I'm still feeling kind of groggy actually. But thankfully, my wife, my lovely Cher, she rescheduled the live, pushed it back, because if I'd have come on as soon as I woke up, it just would have been, wouldn't have been good. All right, so Alzi, Truth Wins, Darzilla, True Crime Loving Blonde, Sharon Tuck, Stitching Bitching and True Crime, Kim Maple Syrup, Miss Robin, hello, hello, hello. So today we're having an open panel discussion about Kiely Rodni, but there are a couple of things I want to... Well, one thing in particular I want to touch on, because Cotton Candy Boo has put up a video that someone had put the initials MILF on a couple of places on Kylie's memorial down by that beach. And according to, I think it's the original video, that person is saying it means make it last forever, get your minds out of the gutter. And to that, I just have to say, you can't take a popular term like MILF and change it and think everyone's going to be okay with that. No. Just about, I'd say 95% of the people who see that don't think make it last forever, even though that's what you may have intended it to be. That's no. MILF is a very, very popular term. You can't just take something like that and change the meaning of it. That's inappropriate. That should not be on her memorial. Put the words make it last forever. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys, in case you haven't seen it, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Yeah, so this here is Kiely Rodni's memorial that's down on the beach where her vehicle went into the water. And you can see at the bottom here, MILF, and over at the top, MILF. That is just... poor taste. It's in poor taste. I mean, nobody reads this. Like I said, 95% of the people reading that as MILF. Maybe not even 5% are going to think make it last forever. But yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think that should have been put on there. Like, put the words. There's plenty of room on that board, right? Make it last forever. But even that, just that term doesn't seem like a good slogan or whatever you want to say to put on a memorial. Yeah. Yeah, one more thing to add to the list of weird stuff. Just lost my mind when I saw it. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not... Like, do I think someone wrote that on there to be callous and mean? No, I don't. I think someone, maybe in their grief-stricken state, wanted to write something nice, but even the term make it last forever isn't... I mean, someone just died. So it's not really unless it was something that she said all the time, then it's just not, I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. But either way, MILF, at least 95% of people are going to be saying MILF. Mother I'd like to find a nice restaurant with. So, yeah. Hey, Pan, Glorious Mess. Was Kiely a mom? I've heard rumblings that she was with child, but I don't know if that's true, so don't spread that. Hey, Viper. How you doing, bud? Foxy Roxy. Finished work and caught alive. Nice. Is Cher okay? Yep, Cher's good. Are you talking about the post about the shootings? That's a long ways away from us. Saskatchewan is actually huge. It's about the size of Texas. So, yeah, it's way up north. It was speculated she was pregnant. Yeah, I'm not going to be trying to continue that. I'd say, for my own thing, I'd say no until it's confirmed by law enforcement or her parents or her friends that she was indeed pregnant. I would say no. Because I would assume that her friend Sammy would have mentioned it.
Did I have a live scheduled? I'll have to reschedule it. I didn't think it was for today.
Oh. Whoops. Oh. So hopefully.
Oh, yep.
You did.
That was actually not supposed. Yeah, that was not supposed to be for today anyway. That's for Tuesday.
Oh, people are at your channel waiting. Send them here. Yeah, just send them over here.
I already deleted it.
Oh, okay. It does, Gloria. It makes a horrific situation even more awful. But like I said, I don't think she was. Because I'm pretty sure somebody would have mentioned it. Like her parents, her good friend Sammy, somebody. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say she wasn't, just until I see absolute proof that she was. But okay. I got my earbuds in, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the panel. And if there's anything, if you don't want to come on the panel, but if there's anything you want to talk about, I'm watching the chat.
I have it already pinned.
Oh, it's already pinned in the chat? My baby's on it. It happens with these cases, Stephanie. Like, if you look at Chris Watts, Summer Wells, Gabby Petito, all those cases that got a lot of traction on social media, there's a ton of misinformation. That's just the way it goes. People speculate, and then others take that as truth. And before you know it, you got a full-fledged theory that came out of nothing. It happens all the time. Yeah, it is possible, Pan. Maybe nobody knew, but it isn't likely. Yeah. I mean, I would say that because she was partying and nobody, not that I saw, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe Sammy said she wasn't drinking or she wasn't doing anything. And normally, well, I wouldn't say normally, but yeah, I'd say normally when a woman finds out she's pregnant, she at least cuts down on alcohol,
They don't drink.
stuff like that.
Sammy said they were all drinking.
Yeah, so.
No, she was not pregnant. And sometimes when teenagers anyways, they don't necessarily follow those rules. They drink even still.
Yes, I know. Yeah, but I was saying typically.
She wasn't pregnant.
I don't believe she was either. RU is one who spreads disinformation. Well, there's plenty. And a lot of them do it in a creative way. They say, well, I heard this.
I'd
Yada,
like to
yada.
know if there was insurance on her because they're selling the property right now. I'm just curious, did they have any kind of insurance? It's weird that they have that claim filed from 2020 and then filed it the day she goes missing. It's weird.
Oh, that vehicle
Remember
claim
that?
thing, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just curious, was there any kind of life insurance on Kiely? Because
Mm. Yeah, that'd be interesting to know if there's a life insurance policy on Kiely.
insurance on that property for camping and stuff, so they go missing. Insurance on Kiely, I don't know.
Northern Light. No, I didn't watch Reverend Donna's latest.
No.
Blonde wakeboarder. I don't know.
I have watched her latest.
Maybe a blonde kayaker? Zanime? Drive my water truck, window down. Can you turn your mic volume up a bit, please? I sure can. I'll sit a little closer too. That should be better. Hopefully that improves it a little bit for you. I'll check my settings. Sometimes they, nope, it's set right. Double check over here. Ah, there we go. I don't know why my computer does this, but whenever I turn it on, it doesn't put the microphone volume at 100%. It takes it down to like 50 or 80 all the time. I don't know why. So if I'm too loud now, let me know. You've done a reading on Kiely? Hey, Aaron. Well, either way, hopefully my volume got louder. People were expecting because of the way the law enforcement officer answered the question about how many bodies were in the car. Yeah, he did. He took a good few seconds to answer that. I don't know why. Oh yes, and happy Labor Day, everybody. "300 people and nobody decided to post a picture or video. Really weird." Yeah, there should be lots of pictures and video of that party. I mean, especially nowadays, everyone has their phones out. They're all taking pictures and stuff. Why are we not seeing that? It's weird. Sounds better? Okay, awesome. I did not watch Mexi last night, but I wanted to. Two or three bodies? I don't know who RU is. I'm so out of the loop. But from what people are saying, I'm probably better off. Do you think it was really a party or a small gathering? I don't think it's as big of a party as what Sammy had let on. I do think there was a party. But going over, like, I don't think that Kiely somehow accidentally drove into that water. I don't think that. Lupus SLE My Fight. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Cher.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I love your wife so much, and I love you so much.
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
want to say, with this MILF, we can take it two ways. We can take it that they're so young that they're not seeing what us older people are seeing, or we can take it to the things that were said on their TikToks and Facebooks and all of that. And so when we look at it of what it would read, it just wouldn't be okay
Mm.
with us. You see what I'm saying? So it could be, do you understand what I'm saying? It could be two different ways. So with that, I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I don't think anyone put that on there meaning it to be MILF,
Right,
because that would be unbelievably disrespectful.
right. And then, may I speak on Upchurch a little bit?
Well, yeah, whatever you want.
Okay. So with Mr. Upchurch, I agree with him and I disagree with him. I'm like Cher. I agree
Mm.
with some of the things that he says and I disagree with some of the things that he says. But I really, honestly, and no, I'm not a number one fan of his, but I honestly do not think that he is meaning it the way that it is coming across to people in a moment of emotions are running so high.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say, well, Upchurch is, when you pull her name up, Upchurch comes up in so many. Well, guess what? In a way, that's a good thing because she's being spread out there in a many a ways. When he says that Callie is not real, I don't think that he is meaning it the way that people are saying it.
Mm.
Maybe I can describe a little bit of maybe what he's saying. I think he is saying what you guys are seeing here and here and here, because this is true crime. We have to take some away and we have to give some. I really don't think that he is meaning it in a bad way, in my
Mm.
opinion. At the end, we'll know truth is truth, whether he means it in the way that a lot of people, well, half of the people are taking it, and then, or if he means it in the other half of the way that people are taking it. But in my heart, I honestly don't believe that he is meaning anything malicious by it. I
Mm.
think we're kind of misunderstanding him in a way. And that's just all I wanted to say. And I did want to do a little car thing. I seen on another chat,
So much money into it.
on another live,
Mm.
um, where a car come up, a car expert supposedly come up and was giving his facts. Then people were debunking him, and then he was trying to debunk others. So if I put my camera on, can you explain something to me? Do you know a little bit about cars?
If you're talking about the transmission thing and the vehicle being in drive neutral, that kind of stuff, yeah, I did see you guys post about that.
Okay, because I have my husband. Um, I got my grandbaby's little, I guess you would call it, Hot Wheel out, and I said, please explain this to me.
Mm.
So we took the Hot Wheel, and I'll turn my camera on. Hold on, let me make sure I don't have anything. Okay, so they said that it was 14 feet, and then the car would have come up at least 5. So
Mm.
there's what, 9 left, and then if somebody stands up that's 5 foot, then you got about 4 feet up. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my camera on. How do I turn my camera on? Oh, hold on, right here. Uh, how do I rotate my camera? I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
like this.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my car? That's my husband. I'm sorry.
See your husband. Oh,
Really?
she hit the back button.
I just have to say one thing to Mark privately. We're just gonna mute for 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Be right back. Welcome back, Lupus.
Sorry, my husband said you better get me out of that. Okay, I don't know how to swap my camera to turn it around, so we're gonna do it like this. All right, can you see the car?
Yes.
All right, this is the butt of the car,
Yep.
and this is the front of the car. So if it went in and then it dropped off, then the car would have, because the motor would have brought it down and then flipped it over. So that means that the front of the car would have been toward where they would have pulled it out. Because if they would have flipped it like they said, it would have went like this. So that puts the front of the car. So if you take the car and if it was pushed in and then it got there, this side would just be trying to take in the water. Then when the motor come in, my husband said, and he's not a car expert, so I'm just putting a theory out there. So if the back end went in, it was floating. Then when it came in with the motor, then it would make it, because of the incline, it would make it do like this. So when they pulled it out, the butt would come out. Well, and then if they flipped it, then the butt would still be at us. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. If it backed in, hold on, I'm trying to get where you can see it. All right. So if it backed in off the incline, it would have come in and then flipped. So then we would have got the butt of the car. So if they flipped it over, then they would have pulled the butt out.
Mm-hmm.
But if it went in from here, this side's got to sink down. Then the motor gets filled with water, which would give it more pressure, then it would flip backwards. So then they flip it. Then when you pull it out, then it would have been the butt of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand my question?
Well, because they did pull it out back end first.
Right.
So that's your point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
you have to.
If they pulled it from the back end, that means it would have come in from the back end into the water to flip. Then they flipped it over, and then they would have pulled it out. But if it went in from the front and then come to that little edge and then flip, then they flipped it over, then it would have been pulled out from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see where I'm confused with that?
I do.
Okay, so you just give me your thoughts on what you think, and I'm going to get out and get off of here. But thank y'all so much. I love y'all having everybody up, and everybody can agree to disagree. But I would like to hear your input on that.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because if a vehicle drove in, it would most likely nosedive, and then the ass end would be facing away from the beach. But, with the... I don't think we can tell from the actual dive video with AWP if the back end was actually perfectly aligned, because the odds of something going into the water and staying perfectly straight and flipping are just about zero. It's going to canter. So could it have spun around enough that they figured, well, it'd be easier just to pull the ass end than try and drag the engine because it's lighter underwater? It would be easier to pull the back end straight and then out. I don't know. We'd have to talk with the people who actually pull vehicles out of the water. But I do get what you're saying. That's definitely an interesting point.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, anytime.
You have a great one.
You too. Yeah, that was a good point by Lupus. Okay, now we got Sherry.
Hey, how are you, Mark?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Well, the way that she explained it, it is true. I mean, the way that the car, in my opinion, went in was the back first. It went in, and then it flipped over. And when they came to get it, um, I mean, when it was underwater, 'cause I don't have a little Hot Wheel, so I can't show you. But the back end was towards the bank or the shoreline, right?
We don't know that for sure, though. That's what I was saying.
Well, when they flipped it over and they pulled it out, see, the way I'm seeing it is they pushed it in. Well, I'm assuming, allegedly, that the car was pushed in. Um, and by my reading, and by what a lot of people are thinking too, um, is that she was already deceased in the back.
Hmm.
And anybody knows when, even women know this. Your battery is not dead if you turn the key and your lights and everything come on, and you get this doorbell dinging. It's not going to be the battery.
Hmm.
And then, as far as up church, what I said was, if you listen to the words that he is saying about making people lots of money, lots of people, lots of money, what he's doing, he's trying to see that he's panel hopping. So he's causing all these YouTubers to get more subs, more views, which equal more money.
Hmm.
He's doing that for a lot of different YouTubers. Plus, he's putting theories out there to see which YouTuber is going to solve this. And that's what I think he's doing. He's generating money for YouTube, for YouTubers, individuals.
Well, he definitely brings a lot more attention,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. But that's my theory of what he's doing. I don't think he's doing that by trying to harm anybody, because he is a good, I believe he's a good guy.
Hmm.
I don't think he's on drugs, and I don't think that he's lost his mind.
No, I don't either.
I think he's doing this to generate money for YouTubers and to see which one is going to figure this out and how long it's going to take them.
Hmm.
That's my theory.
Yep, there you go.
All right. Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks
I'll
for
see you
coming up,
later.
Sherry.
All right, you're welcome.
So I saw Cat and Candy said, according to AWP, they believe the vehicle drove in. So I don't know. But like I said, like we're thinking about it like the vehicle's going to go into the water and flip and it's going to stay perfectly straight. That's not going to happen. It's going to go like this or like that. So depending on how much it turned after it got in the water, because even for a little bit, the vehicles will float for a little bit. So they'll turn. So I would say, if you were to take all variables and just like slowly guide a vehicle into the water or whatever, it probably would stay straighter. But when you have so many things that are uncontrolled in this situation, like the angle which she went in, stuff like that, it's really hard to say. But it is a good point. I'd like to talk with the people who pull vehicles out and see if the vehicle is like 90 degrees or whatever from the shore like that, if they do drag the ass end or if they prefer the front end, because they did bring it up by the back end. Excuse me. Jason Butterfield, hello.
Hey, yeah, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, doing well. Hey,
Excellent.
regarding the Ryan Upchurch,
Hmm.
did you ever think about how much stuff he exposed when he made those videos? Like how many pictures he knew, and he knew days before he released that video, all that stuff, that he had hinted to it several times before he released that video. And he knew that those pictures, there was something wrong with them. And according to the girl that called in, that said she was one of the 3 girls in the car at a different party, he knew that didn't belong to Kiely. And no matter how you look at all the other stuff, I mean, how much evidence did he call into question? And come to find out, he rightfully called it into question. That's it.
Yeah, that was I don't know where he was going with the whole Kylie Callie thing and the grandpa dad and all that, but yeah, some of the stuff he brings up, it's pretty hard to ignore, for sure.
Well, and those photos were already in the Kiely Rodni investigation, and he exposed that they were in there wrong. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody is realizing this. Everybody's talking about all these other aspects, and I'm like, hey, hold on. He exposed, what, 6 or 7 photos that were in the evidence that we were using that was wrong? And there's no denying that part of it. So that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, I still didn't fully get where he was going with that. I don't know if he made a follow-up video or what, but yeah, it made me think that there was just like some kind of weird name error.
No, the girl with the C spelling, Ross, her photos were in the case spelling murder stuff that we were using, and there was 6 or 7 photos maybe of the other girl that had gotten mixed up in our stuff because they looked almost identical.
Yeah.
But more than that, all the other people that he started mentioning, like there was a lady in towards the end of his video, he started mentioning. I noticed she was in all the true crime groups, and seemed to me like she was doing what he was kind of accusing. Like directing things and shutting down people with different questions. It was kind of weird.
It definitely was weird, for sure. Yeah.
Like I think to be honest with you, I think somebody needs to look into some of this stuff, especially with what's going on with the money with the GoFundMe. Nobody realizes how many millions of dollars can be made by that.
Especially if you have several. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, they want several small ones, because if you start getting up over 30,000, 30 to 50,000, people are going to start asking questions. So if you had 10 or 20 little 10, 20, 30,000 ones, hey, good to go.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyhow, I don't know. I just stopped by your channel and seen you guys were talking about that. So, I'll step by and let somebody else talk and listen to what you guys have to say.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming up, Jason.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, say what you will about Ryan, but when he pointed out those pictures were photoshopped and they were on some other girl's Instagram, which then got all the pictures deleted afterwards, like, you notice he says something and then all of a sudden people are deleting stuff. That's always a sign that somebody was trying to pull something. I, for the life of me, can't figure out what they're trying to pull with this. But I mean, we all know watching this isn't just a cut and dried accident. Someone had asked me earlier, I missed your name, but what they think my theory is, I think she was murdered. I do not think this was an accident. She accidentally drove into that, because lots of people, I see this all the time, they say it's a really steep incline. And no, it's not. It's about as gentle of a decline as you can get. People drive down there all the time, have barbecues, like their vehicles are parked right on the water. It's not. It would take some effort to accidentally drive off that, because the road isn't anywhere near. You got probably 200-300 feet from the road to the water. So she's not going to accidentally drive off that. No. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. She could have fallen asleep and for whatever reason didn't wake up till she hit the water and then panicked. Maybe. But where her body was found, and that happening to be the easiest spot in all those bodies of water we saw from AWP, right? All those bodies of water, that spot was literally the easiest place to push a vehicle into the water. There was no easier place. In all those bodies of water, that was the easiest place. So I think something's up with that too. And now people say a vehicle would have to hit with some force to get out that far. You'd have to talk with experts, but I really don't think so. Because if a vehicle, like that hill was pretty long, so that vehicle would be going probably 15, 20 miles an hour when it hit. It'd be clipping along pretty good. And if you hit the water really fast, the water's going to stop you pretty much anyway. You're not going to get that much further out. But yeah, and the vehicle will float a little bit, especially a smaller SUV like that. It will float a little bit before it starts to dip down. So I could see it making 50 some feet being pushed in. Absolutely. Oh, and we got Lupus coming back.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
I wanted to say I just heard you talking about people said it would be further. Do people realize how far down the water was at that time? Have they thought about, I know that, and I follow them, the guys that, I don't want to put nobody's channel out, but the guys that found her, they want to know about the algae part of it. Well, you got to think it's very warm up there. That water wouldn't have got real cold in the algae. And I did hear on another line also that a body is reserved more in salt water than regular water. But when the body of water is warmer, you're going to get algae faster. And the water is way down there. A caller had called in and said how low. So if you brought up the map or a picture of when they pulled her out, and how she described it was, look at where the dark brown is of where the people were pulled in, that was beside, because I heard the caller before, but it made me think about it. Look how far down that they were able to pull to that water. Now, I don't know if it was intentional or accident. I don't know at this point. But all I know is that water was way down. So that cliff that they're talking about could have been way closer. Because when you really think about it... Because when you really think about it, that drop-off and where the buoy was really isn't that far from where the water was. I mean, if you look at it and see where it's shallow, it really isn't that far. So I could see it being pushed in, and then now we know that windows were down, it's going to sink way faster than a car that would go in that all the windows were up and the water couldn't pile in faster. So just if you wanted to, just pull the graph thing up of the picture of it and see how far down the water really is. So it
Yeah.
really wasn't that far out. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the water has been dropping. It seems steadily in there. Been very hot year, not a lot of rain. I've seen some people talking about the vehicle floating. Yes, vehicles will float, windows down or not. Once the water gets above where the windows are, it's really not going to be floating much at that point anyway. But if you get like 2-3 feet of water, if you watch flood videos, you can see vehicles being like swept down the street, and they're floating in like 3 feet of water. So yes, windows down or not, vehicle will float for a while before the cargo and everything starts filling up the water. When there been an oil slick on top? I don't know. It's a good question. I really don't know. Everything's pretty well sealed nowadays. Maybe older vehicles would be a different story, but I don't know. Who was it said if the keys were in the ignition? Not that I've seen, but I would assume that they were and the key was on. But if the key was not on or the key was not in the ignition, then it's absolutely foul play. And yes, I do think, Annabelle, I do think it was foul play. And more so, last live I did, if you didn't see it, check it out. I went over Nick, the roadside assistance guy, and I poked a bunch of holes in his story. But if his story is true, and that was Kiely, then obviously Kiely didn't die at that party because that was 12 hours later. Some people said that Kiely was already dead in the back and yada, yada, yada. And this was a girl who looked like Kiely, but honestly, I don't buy that. That's a bit far-fetched for my thinking. If you got a body in the back seat of your car, you're not calling someone to come and help. No.
Oh, that's not what they're saying. Got that mixed up.
Well, come explain it to me then. I had thought about that too, Humpy. I don't want to really say that it was self-harm, but that's still one of my theories. As far as I know, Oddsy, there has not been an arrest. And I haven't heard anything from law enforcement. I don't know if they've put out another statement, if they believe foul play or accident. I have not seen anything from them. So I don't know what's going on. Tow truck driver saw a flyer, in a coffee shop. Apparently. I don't trust that tow truck driver story. I just don't. Have you thought about hazing? Maybe. Some kind of weird teenage thing going on that went awry. Maybe it's possible. Yeah, Penny. That guy apparently had his cameras rolling and apparently had sent that to law enforcement. Law enforcement hasn't confirmed that I've seen, so I don't know. And like just going by what people say is hard because we've all seen people put themselves in cases and come across as very believable at first until you start to find chinks in the armor, so to speak. Like that, go back to that Chris Watts, that Josh guy. He wanted to be part of this case so bad, he took a picture of Shanann Watts, the victim, one of the victims, and photoshopped her face over top of his wife's face and put that as his YouTube channel, the picture for his YouTube channel, and passed himself off as a friend of the family and all this just to get some attention. So people will do sick shit with these cases. So until I see hard and fast proof, like show me the video. Once I see the video or once I see law enforcement confirming that yes, that was Kiely, so we now know that she was seen 12 hours later after the party in a different spot. Until I see law enforcement saying that, then no, I'm not swallowing that pill. Wolstenholme, hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
Doing good.
Great stuff. Just a couple of quickies. I've been sort of going over this just like everybody else has, I was laying in bed the other night and I was checking out Google as you do, and I seen a guy called Nick Romeo, and he's from Sacramento, and I just want you to check him out as well on Facebook, and probably the other YouTubers as well. There's a photograph that was updated around about 7 months ago there of this guy. I mean, it's not going to prove anything. It just sort of gives him a name. If it's this guy, I'm just curious as to see what other people think, if it's him or not. But he just seemed, this going back to the tow truck guy himself, he just seemed really shady to me. I don't know why. There was something off about the guy.
I agree.
Coming up with these things, putting his fingerprints everywhere on the seat belts, and giving himself a good alibi as to justify why he would be in a car.
Yeah,
it stinks, to be fair. And then also when he said that he'd never heard of it until a week later. But at the beginning of it, he was an all-life member of and a fan of AWP. So you would have thought that if he was like a sub to AWP and a fan of theirs, that he would have known that they were going to look for her. And then for to say that he didn't realise that she was missing until a week later, I'm sorry, but there's nothing really right about him as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there was definitely something going on there.
But if you've got Facebook there, and just check him out. We call him Nick Romeo. And
I will.
There's a photograph of him in a red hoodie, and he's got the same facial features. He's got the same skin tones, and I thought, is it him really? And to be honest, I think it is. I think on AWP he would have sort of had maybe his makeup on for the production. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if they do that sort of thing. But it'd be interesting just to sort of find out. And yeah, I was saying earlier on, about the. I mean, I'm not sure if I would imagine that cars are the same worldwide, but like I said, when you're seeing law enforcement sort of steering the car out of the water, that means that the ignition must have been on because the steering lock was off.
Yeah, good point.
So our keys must have been in the ignition, really.
I'd imagine they were.
Yeah. Otherwise, the wheels wouldn't have turned, would they? Or they would have locked.
Unless they would have to break the steering column to be able to steer it. So
yeah, exactly. But I'll jump down now. But I'm really enjoying your show. I always see if I can tune in. But like I say, it's getting a bit late now in the UK, so it's 11 o'clock at the evening now. So it's bedtime for me shortly.
We'll have a good sleep, man.
I'll try my best. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, thanks for calling up, bud.
You're welcome. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, that was a good point that he brings up, that does give the road assistance guy, Nick, some explanation as to why his fingerprints or DNA may or may not be in that vehicle. So that was something. Honestly, Lucia, I've done that myself. So I get it. I literally had an old friend of mine, I was listening to his stream. I had my phone in my pocket, and I ended up timing hella people out before they finally started saying, "What are you doing, Prairie Boy?" And then I heard my name. I'm like, "What's going on?" And I realized, oh yeah, I was timing people out. So yeah, totally get it. It's happened to me. Three or four different people were seen turning the wheel as it got pulled out. Yep. Yeah, they were turning the wheel. Yeah, we've all seen it. So that means either the vehicle was, or the key was in the ignition, or they broke the steering column so they could turn the wheels. But I would think that if the keys weren't in the ignition, then they would know, or at least immediately assume foul play and be saying something different than what they have been. So I don't know for sure, but yeah, that's good stuff. Anyone else have a thought or opinion? I can watch the chat a little bit more now. Sorry, I like to pay more attention to the guests when they're up. Yeah, Casino Guarco, that was a very, very weird thing. And we went over that when I was talking about Nick in my other live. Because AWP, they looked at each other like, what? But then later they backpedaled and said, yeah, that's kind of normal. Instead of giving the guy shit. I think they did that so they wouldn't make the guy feel really bad on a public forum. It's like, you should have called the police, which he should have. If this story is even half true, you would have a legal obligation, I would think, if you're a roadside assistance person and you pull up on a scene and the people are so out of it they can't figure out how to put on their seatbelt and you let them go, if they crash, you should be liable, because you would have to know, like, something is very, very wrong. They should not be driving. So why did he not let law enforcement know? Like, that was a huge, huge mistake. Can I come up again? I don't want to be greedy. Well, I don't have a backlog of people wanting to come up, so yeah, why not? And welcome back.
And I'm back. Okay, so if you watch, may I say their name? You said their name. Can I say their name?
I don't know who they is, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. AWP, if you watch his interview with the tow truck driver, he says on there, on the live, and AWP made sure that he put it out, that he said that he contacted law enforcement first and got no response. Then he seen AWP and then told them the same thing. So if the tow truck driver is lying, that means that law enforcement will catch him lying. That's the only reason why I don't think that the tow truck driver is lying. Now, if he had went in there to the seatbelt and said, okay, this is the way you do it, and like you said, if he is telling them and they drove and there was an accident, he really could be reliable for it. Because, I mean, aren't we all as people that, and mostly adults, we see somebody who's not coherent and he apparently seen something that wasn't right to say, well, wait a minute, and you're going to drive this? I'm not. That's why I'm so confused on that, Marv.
Yeah.
I'm really confused. Why would he say that he told law enforcement but got no response? But he, and I can understand with the Summer Wells. I don't know if you're with Chasing Truth. When she was down there for Summer Wells, she said there was no pictures of Summer down there. Well, if he doesn't watch the news and all that, I could see him not seeing that this case is the case that it is or paid attention to it.
Oh,
But,
yeah. That part makes sense because he
yeah,
doesn't live in that area. So, yeah.
right. So if he saw, if he told law enforcement and he said that and it was put out there, and we do have to remember AWP, everybody's like, well, he wouldn't say if it was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Well, maybe he was told don't say that on here because there are some things that YouTube don't know. Now,
Oh,
some
yeah.
have leaked out that we have gotten, and thank God that we have, by names, not taking up for Up Church. He was able to debunk some of the names that were in there. And all that with her teeth, and then the girl that could have been in back, and then those girls call in and say, no, that was me. We wouldn't have been able to debunk there. You know what? Technology is way more than what we are. And we have to remember that. That technology is a lot. But in none of her pictures did I see, in any of the pictures of her recent pictures, did I ever see braces on her teeth. And if she didn't want her braces shown, because I had seen where somebody said, oh, she cropped that out, or however they do it, because I'm not good like that, but she took that off. Well, if that was such a big problem, she would have took it out of most of her pictures. And you could tell in most of her pictures that her teeth are her teeth. So you see that double there. So I think Up Church might be on a little bit of something. I'm not going to say that I agree with all of it, but I do agree with some of it. And I'm not going to agree with all with the tow truck driver, but I'm not going to disagree with all of it. Because he was pretty brave to go on there and say, hey, look, I called into LE and LE didn't respond to me, and I follow y'all and I seen your truck, so that's why I chased you down and told you what I did and what I seen. And then AWP said, he said on his video, if more does not progress in this case, he's going to show more. So basically what he is saying, you need to tell the world what is really going on, or there's going to be more that I put out in facts to show you of what's really going on. That's how I took it, in my opinion. I don't want to put words in his mouth. So if I come up with something else, I'll come back up. My husband says, just say it all. I said, I have to wait till they go through, and then it hits a button that, because I haven't slept over this. This has been another summer's case to me. To where it keeps me awake. And many things can make my mind turn. And so, thank you for having me.
Of course. That's a great point, Tibori. Why are all these pictures so pixelated and horrible looking? Like, in this day and age, why are all these pictures that we get so awful? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And sorry, Tracy.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we have a lot of subjects going for here. All right, as for the tow truck driver, Okay. I won't believe anything unless I see some footage. Okay.
Yeah.
So they haven't released that. There's nothing for us for that one. I personally don't feel that that should have been released at all without that, because now everything is shooting to these kids and Jagger. So now what's going on here is people are attacking them. I'm not trying to stand up for them. Please forgive me. But if they're innocent, um, their lives are in these people's hands that are putting this information out. One could be get ready to commit suicide, or a bunch of people can hurt this person thinking that that's the guilty party. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, that makes sense.
So there's, and as for this truck driver, excuse me, if nothing comes upon this, he's my number one suspect at this point, because he's out there. He's working, but I know, and please, any men out there, please forgive me. Men do cheat. There's a party going on. There's a bunch of ladies, girls. You might get lucky, and you know what I mean. And maybe he's trying to cover his behind, because if they find his fingerprints on the seat belt, which he was talking about, how do you work that seat belt? Okay, or on certain products, the ignition key, the clutch. Okay, so now he explains why his fingerprints are there.
Yeah.
So okay. So I don't trust that. I think he's the one. Now, and then number 3, or are we on number 4? Because I'm sorry, I'm not on my account. Now, as for the photos not being right, all females are very self-conscious and will do stuff to our pictures to make us look better or to hide our flaws, like our acne, braces, you name it. So that could answer for any of the photographs are just don't seem right. But there isn't a person out there who won't put some type of a filter on their photograph before they post it.
Oh, I get that. But my issue, and T. Borrow brought it up, is why are these pictures of such poor quality? Like, they look like they were taken on a camera from the 80s. Like,
they did the same thing with Gabby.
Yeah, but there's no real. Why are there no real clear, high resolution pictures? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's only I think 5 that the mother released as she was younger, that are very clear. And they do match. They do match what Ryan had found. They match perfectly. But the problem is there is a body, there is a car. Whose body is it? So that's the scary part. How far, if Ryan is right, how far are these people willing to go to prove that hey, they're not Ryan? Was it Rosanna May and Ronnie is real? I mean, how far do they need to go? He did hit a point on the Ronnie and the Zanime. Oh, they're busted like you can't imagine. But I didn't agree with him saying that Kiely wasn't real, but something happened there.
Yeah.
And but as for why, I don't know. We probably will never know. But that tow truck driver all of a sudden coming out and he's going to play stupid. All right, number 1, you got teenagers that are not acting right. That's right there. Boom. This is his responsibility to call the police and say, hey, they might be drinking, they might be on something. I let these people on the road. They're going to run somebody off the road. Then you have a couple who was ran off the road. Now people are trying to tell me that was an hour away. Okay. Why is Jagger dragging people to Reno when these people were coming from Reno? So something happened, either A, where they wanted to shut the girl up and she wasn't going to shut up, or B, it's some type of suicide pact. They were supposed to die at 17. None of it makes any sense. None of it.
No.
And we still haven't determined what happened to the couple that was ran off the road. I mean, like, a lot of people try to put me down on this one, but and oh, it's an hour away. It's no way that it even could connect. And I'm like, are you kidding? You can drive from, I would say from like, I would say 11:30. Let's say they left the party early, and you could drive hours. I mean, like, you could drive an hour really easily, really quick.
Yeah.
And they're headed to Reno, you know, probably for some type of party, or maybe they wanted to catch that car thing, you know, the car show before it ended. Who knows? Or to go see the sunset that Jagger likes to show around. But again, everything's now pointing to Jagger to take Jagger down. So what tells me is if they do make it that far to take Jagger down, you're not going to get Jagger because Jagger's going to commit suicide. That's it. It's done. Closed case, just like Brian Laundrie.
Yeah, that could very well be how it turns out. Hopefully we get some answers though, because it just doesn't.
I didn't mean to throw all that on you, but there's a lot.
Oh, there is.
We have been, we'll call the anonymous, okay? We have been, since year 2013, for American, been putting out all these false flag events. They're called crisis actors. Now, every single thing that we've ever posted has gotten taken down. Anonymous has been infiltrated, excuse me, and a lot of people have died of unknown causes. And a lot of my friends, which I do have full proof of, I have photographs of everything. I even have people who had documents that I made sure was hidden. God forbid, anything happened to me or my family. But it does exist. And when they raise these entities, they're raised from people, kids that don't have families. There's nobody that knows them. There's nobody that cares about them. They're orphans, or they're what do you call it? In shelters. Okay. Now, with the massive kids that came in from Mexico, and that was a lot of kids, because they're getting ready to train them for the next flag event for Mexico. It is 100% correct. It's real. It's not false. It's just, this is a political agendas to push agendas for the political party. Unfortunately, nobody's a win to it, because who wants to believe something like that? That's a conspiracy theory. Yet I could prove every single thing I'm saying. But if I do, I'm the one that's not. I'm the one that's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's one day. The only person who knows the truth is John Walsh's daughter right now. She knows everything. And I mean everything. But I'm not trying to say that Kiely's not real, guys, and please forgive me. Some girl died. Something happened. These kids are showing their faces. Why would they show their face? You know what I mean? They're literally speaking on the TV. It wouldn't make any sense for her not to be real. Really. But who the killer is, I'm still drawn on the truck driver right now. The tow truck driver.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my suspects for sure.
Yeah, if you ever get to do an interview with her, please forgive me. Like, I don't remember her name right now because I gotta go to work. I'll try to see this, but nobody else sees it. I gotta go, but I don't remember her name. But if you can drop me to her, because she needs me. She's looking for me, and she knows Devereaux Deerhaven. The only other person who knows Devereaux Deerhaven is Stallone. So always remember, how did Stallone become an actor? What made him want to be an actor? So he'll know if he tells the truth. But I think it'll only go through her. But she knows Devereaux Deerhaven, and she also knows it in Florida, Chester, New Jersey, and I think it's upstate New York. So yeah. I just spilled it, so you got me. So if you want to save me, I'm sorry. I've been off grid for quite some time, and I am an orphan. So I know a lot about this.
Hmm.
All right.
Well, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, so yeah, tow truck driver. I did a whole live. I don't want to go all over that again, but my last live stream, I think it was my last live stream, was all about that guy. Some things weren't sitting well with me, and I went off about it. I know a lot of people have the theory that Kiely was already dead, and the two murderers were trying to frame him for her death or something like that. But I don't know. If I've got a deceased person in my vehicle, I'm not calling a stranger. That is just a mad, crazy thing to do. And it's a huge risk. So yeah, I don't think that's very viable, but it is possible. It's definitely possible. And welcome back again, Lupus.
I'm back. Okay, so going to the Upchurch thing. He's got a Cassie, isn't it Cassie, and then a Kylie.
He's got a what, sorry?
Cassie and a Kylie. Or it's a Kylie and it's pronounced the same. I'm not real sure which one. I would have to go back and look.
I think Callie.
Okay. No, he has another. It's the new video that's really making an uproar. Let me explain something. I was an orphan and I was adopted. I was trafficked. I was adopted. I have a name that is supposedly sealed. But now I have another name. I see where Upchurch is going with that. How he found the other name is mind-blowing to me because I have no idea. But let me tell you, I have two names. One of those names is sealed. I can take that name back if I want to at any time. It'll cost me. But that name is out there. There may be somebody in the world that has that name. And it can be crossed. But actually, that is my name because I was almost arrested by my sealed name because there was somebody else by that name. But it was really my real name. But the person that they were looking for was not me by my new name. And no, I'm not a suspect. So it's hard to explain that. Okay, how I'm going to explain it is like this. I have a name with a last name that is supposedly sealed. Then I was adopted. Then I have a name there. Then I got married. Now I have a name now. Then I divorced and married again. Now I have a name. So I can see where he is seeing this. And I can see where so many people are confused. Did the real was Summer Moon Utah Wells kidnapped, but was supposed to be another child? I can see this. And that's why I was hoping, I thought that Cher was going live tonight and she would understand what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't stress, please, Mark.
You have more than one name. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, to honestly go by law, being an orphan, then being adopted, and then being married and married, I actually have, and then going to my biological name, I actually have 5 names. Me, Lupus, has 5 names. That's why when people are out there doxing people and they say you're doxing innocent people, I know in this world there's more people like me, so innocent people are being doxed. You don't know that you've got the right person. So I can see where his mind is going with these names. Now, has he ever been in this situation? No. But we also have to remember, and a lot of people want to put in the background, they want to cut out sex trafficking. They want to cut out this organ selling and all that. People, this is real. What we are hearing, this is real stuff that is going in the real world.
Oh, we've broken up there. You've gone robotic. Give it one more sec. Yeah, I think we lost connection there, Lupus. I could hear little bits and pieces, but it's gone robotic there, so. Okay, my honey just sent me something to pull up. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we got this ready to go. I will share this for you. And in the meantime, while that plays, I'm gonna run down and have a smoke. But then we will discuss.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Kiely Rodni's former boyfriend, Jagger Westfall, stated in a comment on social media, reacting to another person's comment, with the story from Nick, the roadside assistance guy. Jagger stated she never called roadside assistance, so this can be taken 2 ways. Yes, he's correct, she herself, from her phone, didn't make the call. We know this after Nick said the call came from the guy that she was with because her phone was dead.
Do you know who placed the call to your roadside company?
So I can't get details. Calls don't go through me. They go through
Dispatch. So you don't have. So when you were digitally dispatched, did you call them to say you were coming, or you just showed up?
I did call and nothing went through. It went straight to voicemail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if she had a phone on her at the time?
She did state that her phone was dead, and so she used whatever guy, whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's how she did get in contact.
Jagger also says he lives 4 hours away, so was he or was he not at the party? If he wasn't at the party, even the day after, how would he know that she didn't make the call if he wasn't with her? The other comment he made mentions she was drunk driving on a steep shoreline. So if he was 4 hours away, how did he know she was not only drunk, but drove? And why did Nick, from Adventures with Purpose, say he seen her body in the back, the hatchback, the cargo area, not the driver's seat?
She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me.
Yeah.
The vehicle's upside down. Some of the one window is halfway down. One window is all the way down.
Let me know what you think below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Have a blessed day.
Let's see if I can find that. After responding to this comment, I'm just going to ignore all the dumbasses that say shit like this. She was drunk driving on a steep shoreline. Could have happened to anyone. Now, please just respect her and family and give her peace. So, yeah, if he wasn't there, how did he know she was driving drunk? How did he know that she didn't call roadside assistance? But I will say, if she was driving there drunk and drove into the water at 12:30, then Nick's story is 100% a lie. complete bullshit, because that was supposedly at least 12 hours after the party ended, or after 12:30 when her phone apparently died or shut off or whatever. It was the next day around noon, and it might have even been a day after that, because he couldn't remember the day. He could only remember it was around noon. So, yeah, that whole thing just does not make sense. I just don't get it. Okay, so I'm still going to be up, but I'm just going to switch to my phone here real quick. And we'll do this. 1 second. All right. Oh, when I pulled my earbud out, the little rubber piece stayed in my ear. That's weird. I think it's pretty simple. You can't call for a paid service unless you tell them your name. Well, that's the other thing too. Someone had mentioned this to me before, and I don't know. Like, GMC has OnStar. Honda has something called Honda Link. I don't know anything about it. So I'm not too sure if there was any kind of like automatic information. Like if with OnStar, if you're in an accident, automatically it sends the information, right? I don't know if Honda Link has anything like that. Yeah, Honda has a Skylink, it's called. Okay. But I don't know if she had that or if, I mean, she was 16, so it might have been under her father's name. So really not too sure what's going on with that. Law enforcement does need to start saying something about the case. Absolutely. Mama Bird says he works for Cal Nevada Towing. Yeah. Tow truck drivers just said, go here and here's the contact information. Now that's why he might have tried to call her number instead of the number that she called from, because if it is like a CAA or an AAA thing, then they would probably just call the number that's on file. I don't know. Analyzing the black box in the car, that'd be good. I don't know when the first call went in. But I would have thought it would have happened a lot sooner. Why would she not call her mom or dad? Yeah. Yeah, they'd be very worried. And she had apparently been sitting there with the guy all day because they couldn't get the car to start. But he had a working phone. She didn't call her parents? No, it's not a Newport. But it's very weird. Oh, CBK, I saw that, yeah. Yes, by all means. Yeah, if there's missing paint or if you See the seatbelt stuck out of the hatchback door? Yeah, that'd be good. Go ahead and send it. Camel? No, it's Next. Canadian brand. Best one to send is ihearvoices19@yahoo.com. And why didn't he call a friend? True. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot of, this is a small town, but there are people I know that I could call if I was stuck on the road. And I would certainly call Cher to let her know. So why no calls to friends or family that, yeah, we've been stuck here for almost 12 hours. Maybe he was a weirdo who's holding her hostage. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it wasn't even her. Like we don't know for sure. That's possible. But even then, they got the phone working, so she had a charger in her car. So why not charge it and call her mom? Yeah. And according to Sammy, they went to her car to charge their phones. So there was a charger in the car. And even if like the battery was fine, so even in neutral, if you turn the key on, you can still use your accessories. Lights will work, the charging ports will work. Vehicle doesn't have to be running for that. So yeah, a whole lot of this stuff just does not make sense. I don't know if we'll ever get, hopefully law enforcement will clear some of it up because they got to know. I mean, even just basic things. What gear was the vehicle in? Was it in drive or reverse? Was the key on? Did she actually die from drowning? Like, these would be good questions to, if they would actually put it out, but I don't know. And we're back. Maybe she was hidden. It wasn't her that called. After her car was started, they placed her in the back. Battery could have had a dead cell. Well, the battery was apparently fine. So, I don't know. Yeah, according to Nick, the car was in neutral. Which, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. When evil entered, do you think they will tell our autopsy results? No, I don't think law enforcement will put that out. One thing they may put out is if they suspect foul play or whatever, if they're continuing to investigate, they might say something like that. But yeah, I think for my money, I don't think she accidentally drove all that way into the water. I just don't. Not to be graphic, but I thought I heard a WP say she had a look of sleeping on her face, that she was preserved. If that's the case, I don't think there would have been a struggle. That's hard to say. Yeah, that's another thing. Guy said the battery was fine, and then told her to keep it running to charge the battery to make sure the charging system worked. Yeah. Also very weird. When do you think the tow truck driver's dash cam will be revealed? I don't think law enforcement will put that out. If the Nick guy manages to get it, he might put it out. Maybe. Or give it to somebody to put out. But I don't think law enforcement will. Not unless they believe that the guy she was with, if they believe she was murdered, and they think that might be the guy who did it, they might put out a picture. Yeah, we don't know that, Pamela. I did speculate a while ago that if this was a murder and the person actually knew what they were really doing and it was well thought out, drowning her and then waiting for the lake to be cleared and then putting her vehicle in there would actually be smart. And then the fact that AWP came back and searched again threw a wrench in their plans. So, I mean, that's possible, but that's a whole lot of planning. Okay, Cher sent me the pictures that CBK sent, so we're going to pull those up. Okay. All right, so this, you can see there's some vehicle damage on the back. You can see this is the exhaust pipe up here. So this is the back of the CRV, and you can also see what looks like the seat belt or a belt sticking out of the hatch. Now, I'm not too sure if that's actually a seatbelt or a strap. But yeah, I don't know if this is fresh either. I mean, that could be old damage too. On this picture, it almost looks like it was touched up at one point and then chipped off, but it's really hard to tell. But yeah, there's four, definitely something. And this here, I don't know if that's something either. I'll go back to the other picture and see. Oh no. I don't know if that's paint wore off or if that's just glare from the camera. But this is definitely vehicle damage. So thank you, CBK, for sending that. A strap, yeah. Well, the very back of the CRV is like a storage area. It's kind of like the trunk of a car. I don't think a seatbelt would be able to reach all the way back there, but some of the hatchbacks I've seen, there are straps. Like there's like almost like a tarp that you can like bring down over top and tie it down. That's what I think that was. I don't think it was a seatbelt. Yeah, I'd have to actually physically look at was it 2013 Honda CRV and see if you could pull the seatbelt from the back seat that far, but I don't think you could. Even the center one, if it was still just a lap belt, I don't think it would go that far, but I could be wrong. They have a seatbelt CRV from roof going down in hatch area. Oh, so yeah. So yeah, kind of like a strap. It's not for passengers, but yeah, so that's probably what it was. Yeah, thanks for clearing that. A few people have said there's a strap that comes down from the roof. Yeah. But because they know it's not an accident, it's definitely foul play, is why we are not getting any more brief conferences on the news. Foul play only still be under investigation, explains at least quietness. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was an accident and then just somehow she managed to drive in there and drown, there wouldn't be any more for law enforcement to say. But if they're investigating foul play, they're not going to be saying that right away either. So we'll just have to wait. But if that Nick guy is being truthful and it was Kiely and some other guy, and that's proved to be legit, then I think law enforcement would definitely have to put that picture out that they're looking for this person, because he would have been, that puts her alive like 12 hours after she was last seen. So they would definitely need to find that person and talk to them. If you push the seatbelt, push it between the seat and the back. Yeah, like the center one. If it's just a lap belt, those can get pretty big. So yeah, maybe. But yeah, lots of people have confirmed that there is a strap that goes from the roof down for just strapping in cargo. What's up, Diet Cola? Viking, hello. Oh, we got another update. God. So for those following Cher's posts, we've had several emergency alerts. There were 2 people who had stabbed and killed 10 people and wounded 15 others. And they were on the run. One of them is named Damien Sanderson. He has been located deceased. Saskatchewan RCMP continues to search for Miles, who is 6'1" and 240 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He may be injured and seek medical attention. Maybe in black Nissan Rogue with Saskatchewan license plate 119 MPI. It is unknown if he is traveling with anyone. So one of them has been located and was deceased. So they don't have any more info on that, but I think Nick knows they have the information and are hiding it. Well, you never know. Someone said Sasquatch stabbed 10 people. Yeah, that's a whole different thing, but that was why my phone was going off. There were two men who had gone on a stabbing spree. They stabbed and killed 10 people, wounded 15 others, and were on the run. One of them has been found deceased, so hopefully they find the other one quickly. Holy cow! Thank you for the super sticker. Very much appreciated. Pray she wasn't alive when she hit the water. I don't know. There's just no nice outcome. The most peaceful would be if she was passed out and hit the water and never woke up, but common sense knife control, would it have taken a gun to stop the stabbing? Yeah, now we're going to have knife knife laws in Canada. Actually, we do. Yeah, you can't walk around, like you can't even have a knife in a sheath on your belt. Faraway Eyes. Hello. Would the roadside assistants have recorded the phone call number or the entire call? That's a good question. I don't know if they would have. They should have the number. Maybe they're trying to make a pro-gun statement. Huh. Ghost Anime, hello. Wasn't UK trying to get a knife ban? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, UK has a really high number of stabbings because guns are outlawed. So why does law enforcement carry in Canada? Well, they got an advantage that way. I'm not talking about the biggest issue in my area. Well, what's the biggest issue in my area? Yeah, could be. Someone drove it in there with her passed out. Yeah, that's very possible. Oh, what do they carry? Not why. Yeah, they've got pistols, pepper spray, the standard stuff. Thank you very much, Penny with the thought. Largest stabbing in the history of Cree Nation. It's the second largest mass murder in Canada. Tied with, wasn't that long ago someone used a van to run people over and killed 10, I believe. Yeah, the only one worse was the guy on the East Coast. Yeah, very, very tragic, very horrible. So many people. And it seemed like it was random. It didn't seem like there was much rhyme or reason to it. And so many people just first thing Sunday morning. Yeah, it's very, very sad. I feel like where I live getting shot and stabbed for just breathing these days, yet hammer I keep on the side of my driver's seat is an illegal weapon. Go figure. Hey, Channel Surfer. Yeah, gotta outlaw assault knives now. Yeah. People don't realize it has nothing to do with the weapon. It's the person. Of course, is it easier to kill a bunch of people with a pistol than a knife? Yes, obviously. Or a rifle or whatever. That doesn't mean people won't find a way to do it. So does anyone else have a theory or a thought that they want to come up and share? If not, I think I'm going to cut this one off right away. Were they escapees or something? I don't believe so. No, I don't think they were. Yeah, I've usually got a hammer within reach because I've got my tools. So the creator Psychobabble, he put a video out about Kiely. He said Ryan is right. Well, Ryan could very well be right. I don't know. I didn't really get where he was going with the different names and stuff, but as soon as he says something, there's always people deleting shit. And that really makes me wonder just what the hell is going on. Go watch Genetic Code's new video. I'll check that out.
By the way, Leland called.
Mm.
He's bear hunting for his first time tonight.
Ah. It was a sarcastic video. Oh, okay. I gotta find my earbuds here. They're hooked around my chair. Okay. All right. Welcome, Mark.
How you doing, man?
Not too bad. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I've just got a couple of thoughts. I just jumped on the live stream, so I apologize if you discussed it earlier.
Mm.
Let me get rid of the background noise. Live stream, so I apologize if you discussed it earlier.
Mm.
Okay. Let me get rid of the background noise. Live stream, so I apologize if
Yeah,
All
if
right.
you're watching the YouTube, you gotta close
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Let me get rid of the background. I thought I'd taken care of it already. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
if you're watching it, you gotta close
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Let me get rid of the background. I don't think that anybody intentionally harmed Kiely, but I do think it's kind of suspicious, and I do think that somebody may have covered it up. You have to go back and look at there's a picture of a bar sign where they were selling drinks at the sanctuary like a weekend or two before.
Hmm.
And it's got Sammy's Venmo on it. Like, she's the bartender. She
Okay.
organized the party. She has lawyer parents, and she was selling alcohol to minors.
Mm.
And so I think that I just don't think that they killed her or anything. I don't think she was raped. I don't think she was abducted or anything like that. But I think that something bad happened to her. Maybe it was the fight that caused the end of the party. Sleuthy has on her timeline a statement from her friend Elsie that said she fell in a hole. She could have been injured any different number of ways and then made it to her car, and then they just got rid of the car. And that's just something that I haven't heard bandied about widespread.
Well, I suppose anything's possible.
So anyway, I think that that's all I have to offer, except that have you heard of the new theory that Nick, the tow truck driver, is actually an FBI agent?
I have heard people wondering if he wasn't law enforcement because of the way he spoke.
The FBI uses a tactic called tickling the wires, and that's when they use it whenever the information stops coming in, and so they'll post something that they already know, and it's in hopes of getting somebody that's involved to act or react.
Mm-hmm.
I think that may be what's going on, but I'm not sure.
It's possible. Definitely possible.
I think that's what Ryan Upchurch is doing with this whole saying that he doesn't believe her thing. He's trying to shake the tree and see what birds fly out.
Yeah, I agree. Well, he's He's definitely shaking down a couple of trees at very shady people.
That's true. I mean, you've got to give him credit for that. And the thing about it is that if you go back and look at his videos, he said that that's what he was doing. But
Mm-hmm.
people are focusing on his words, not why he is saying them.
Yeah.
And that's just a big whoosh over everybody's head, I think.
Mm. Yeah.
So anyway, I enjoy your show.
Well, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point too. She could have been injured and somehow gone back to her vehicle, and then it somehow went into the water. It is definitely possible.
I mean, we can't even rule it. We can't even call it foul play yet, because I know that Nick, the diver, when he surfaced from the water, he was like, "It looks suspicious to me. Call the authorities." The only way that I think it could have looked suspicious to him, it's not because she was in the back of the vehicle, it's because he saw her. And so if there was evidence that her head was bashed in or something like that, it could have been something else other than just she was in the back of the vehicle.
Yeah, it could have been something that we weren't told. Yeah.
Exactly. And I just think we can't rule that out. So I'm kind of like, I go back and forth on this every day, and I'm like 50-50 this, and I'm 51-49% that. And it's just taking, this is just a really wild case with very little information that everybody is worldwide is focused on.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. I wish law enforcement would put out another statement. Just give us some basic info. But yeah, so far nothing.
Until they're prepared to make an arrest or have already arrested somebody, I don't think we'll ever hear anything.
No, I was saying earlier, the only thing I think we might see is if maybe they think this Nick guy had something to do with her disappearance and they need to find him. So we might see a picture of him. But I think that's about it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I don't think they're going to say anything until they take action.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're not going to risk tipping off the wrong person or ruining the case just to keep the public informed.
Well, these are 18-year-old kids. They ain't going to go nowhere. They might, if somebody's guilty of something, they might. They're not going to run, so they know where everybody's still at and where everybody lives. The only risk that they take is if a guilty kid, if there is a guilty kid, commit suicide or something, and we would just never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get some answers in the near future.
So anyway, you don't have to keep me on.
Well, you can stay on as long as you like, or you can leave, or whatever.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just shut up now.
All right. Well, if anyone else has any thoughts or things they want to come up on and say, if not, I'm coming up on 2 hours, so I'll shut this down. But let's see what the chat's got going on here. It's leaning towards she was roofied. Something went wrong. There's panic, so she was thrown in the back of the car. Put the bitch in neutral, pushing in the water, roll the window down. Yeah, could very well be. The only thing I'm coming back, like I've said that I don't believe Nick's story. But if Nick's story is true, then nothing happened at the party. Because she was seen at a different location 12 hours after the party. She left the party. So it's either one or the other, right? If something happened to Kiely at the party, then obviously roadside assistance was never called, or at least she never called roadside assistance 12 hours later. Oh, yeah, I said that when I watched it, Ben. she's got no sadness. Like, she lost her friend, and there's just business as usual. She's even like smiling and stuff some of the time. This doesn't make sense. Welcome back, Mark.
Well, I mean, I understand that you think that Nick's story is suspect, but I just think that there's just so many verifications. LEA, I mean, law enforcement can check AAA records. They can check his truck driving records. I don't think he would necessarily lie, but could it be that he just gave a jump to another Honda CRV on that day?
Mm-hmm.
What
Could
if he's
very well
told the
be.
truth, but it's just not relevant?
Yeah, there's definitely something to that too.
I don't know.
Yeah, personally, I don't think that his story as it being Kiely and not being able to work her seatbelt and all this, the vehicle's in neutral, not being able to start it, and he just lets them go on their way. I don't believe that. I never worked as a tow truck driver as roadside assistance, but common sense would tell me if someone is so out of it they can't figure out their seatbelt, they shouldn't be driving. So I would have called police.
What if it wasn't Kiely? What if she was in the back already?
Well, that's the other thing, and I don't think that's the case, because if you murdered someone, would you call roadside assistance?
Well, these are kind of stupid kids, so
Yeah,
they've been up
that's
all night.
beyond stupid.
Well, it is beyond stupid, but another theory is that they wanted to get somebody else's DNA and fingerprints on the steering wheel and the shifter.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that. I sure wouldn't take that risk.
No, I mean, no.
If you're gonna have that much forethought, why not just wear gloves?
No, I mean that's true, but
I mean, it's possible. It's possible that they killed her and had her in the trunk and took a risk calling a AAA guy. But that's like big risk.
well, I think if they, I think Callie would have, if she was still disoriented, she still would have known how to drive her own car.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was a different female, and that female that I think was involved was the same female that was standing next to the ex-boyfriend on the Fox 40 interview.
Yeah.
These kids know what happened. Whether it was
Well,
good.
someone does, that's for sure.
So are you more of a, are you leaning more towards the side of the part there was never any party?
Oh no, I think there was a party. But I don't think it was an accident. I think she was murdered. I'd like it if law enforcement would actually say something if they suspected foul play, or if at least were investigating foul play as an option. If she was injured at the time or something.
That's true. I just think that they can't because they don't have their case put together yet. You have to remember Nevada County with the FBI and CHP only they were involved in the initial search, but it wasn't their investigation because the investigation was located or originated by Placer County, where Kiely lived when she was a missing person, but it had to flip over to Nevada County because that's where she was found. And so they're having to go back through and kind of reinvestigate everything from scratch.
Yeah. Plus, if they do think that it was foul play, they're not going to say that. They'll just say that they're continuing to investigate. They're not going to keep giving us information. That's just not what law enforcement does.
No.
Okay, we got another caller coming in. Alec.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, dude. How are you?
I'm great. This is a interesting case, huh?
Yeah, very.
I kind of was hinting at some of my theories there. I think everybody's spiraling out of control with, the tow truck guy or whatever you want to call him. But if you just really look at the car itself, she was probably drunk. That's not a stretch, right? It looked like she was in the back, whether she floated there or not. Bodies are heavy. If you've ever tried to move a drunk person or it's happened in our lifetimes. Kids aren't going to be able to put a girl in the front seat or even in the middle seats, especially not in the middle seats. I think they just threw her in the back. She was drunk. Someone decided, hey, maybe I'll drive her home, made a mistake, went in the water. The car was flipped to the left side. You're not going to break out that window. As you can see, it was not broken out. Broke out the passenger side window. But you only have 20 seconds, they say, to save yourself. So at that point, Kylie's already underwater. You're not going to go back and save her. It's a pretty embarrassing situation. You're not going to go jump back in the water and try to go get her. At least I don't think they would. And now what are you going to do? You're going to lie and cover it up. So I still think it was an accident. I don't think it was nefarious. But no one's still going to admit to it because everybody was trashed, probably. Even the driver. They probably just thought she was less trashed. And that still doesn't look good. And if you're on mushrooms, because everybody's talking about certain like heavy psychedelics there, you're going to get in trouble. So I think really that's what it is. It was something that simple. It was still an accident, but they were all doing illegal things. You see where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very possible.
It doesn't seem like you have to go with any alternate theories about fights between anybody. Because that still doesn't lead to someone being in the back of a trunk in the water. I don't think anybody would have pushed that car in the water. I could be wrong, but how would they know the car is going to sink? Do they know the depth of the water or how the ground underneath is going to lie? That's a stretch for me to think that somebody pushed in the water to hide her body. They're going to find it eventually. Plus, you're at the area she was at last. They're going to look anyway. So I still think it was an accident. Somebody was pretty trashed. All her friends left. Someone said, let me try driving her home, or let me just try driving her car. Made a mistake. And I don't think people scrambled away from this party 2 hours. And I could have sworn someone said that's about how long these parties last. Can you imagine if that was going on till 4 a.m, that somebody would have called the police and said, these kids are out of control. I think it was a 2-hour, stick and move kind of deal. And everybody took off. If she was left there and wasn't unable to drive and someone suggested maybe I'll try driving you, that's most plausible. But I don't think you have to get involved with fights or people coming in from 4 hours away or any of that. I think it was pretty local. I think we're going to agree that she was there. Do you think? I don't know.
Oh, she's at the party.
Yeah, they proved she was there. I don't think she left. I don't think this happened the next day. I think her friends did leave. I don't think, unless Sammy was the one driving, but I don't know. Well, could she have driven, broke out, swum, and got into someone else's car and said, just drive me the hell home, and let's forget this happened? I don't know.
I think, Alec, your theory is okay, and it's something that I hadn't considered before, because if somebody else drove into the lake and was suddenly faced with a water situation, all you have to do is pivot your butt over, and you could kick out the passenger window, and you have 20, 30 seconds to get out. And I think you're right on point with that.
Yeah. Could you save Kiely if you were the driver and you were 100% sober? From what we've seen, it doesn't look like even a healthy, strong, sober male could do it. And if you're intoxicated, the car's upside down, the water's rushing in because the windows were open. That's another thing. If the windows were open, what would be the point of leaving that window down? If you were going to hide that body, do you think they'd open that one small window so it would sink quicker? Why not open them all? And if you were trying to make it look like an accident, wouldn't you strap her in with like her seatbelt maybe, or even just put her in the front? It looks
I
like
don't
to
think
me that they just threw her in the back because she's too heavy to put on any of the seats there.
I think if there was a cover up, the teenagers involved are going to be too grossed out to pick up a dead body and strap it in the front. They're not gonna touch it. They're just gonna cover it up. They're gonna spray perfume. I don't think that they would touch it.
But so you would agree that the most likely thing is she was absolutely crushed. I mean, I think she went to that place early at 10 in the morning, I think, to probably buy the wraps for the cannabis, and probably bought her drinks there. That's maybe why they don't want to show that store. Maybe she got all that alcohol illegally. But that raw wrapping paper thing, that's an 11-inch cone. You know, what's that going to hold? Like a half an ounce of herb? They were probably hitting it pretty hard. And Sammy's seems to be showing pictures of mushrooms. I don't know if she's on psychedelics on a constant state. Who knows? As kids, can they handle that? Do they know what right from wrong is? I don't know.
I sure didn't when I was that age.
Yeah,
Right.
very true.
No one's making right decisions, but the easiest decision, in my opinion, is that people didn't have a plan here. They threw her in drunk, and maybe somebody drove in accidentally. It just seems that way, because why would the passenger window be broken out unless somebody was trying to get out? And Kiely didn't get out, so she didn't break that window. And if she was in the back seat, like they were saying, oh no, she floated from the back seat to the whatever they call it, the hatchback. Well, she was in the back seat.
I just want to ask a couple of things, because you've said this a few times. You said the passenger window was broken out. How do you know it was broken out, not rolled down?
That's even worse. If it was rolled down, then you would think everybody would get down. I think that AWP might have said that it was out. They didn't say it was open. I'm only going by what they said, but we can double check that. Either way, it was not there. But I think if you look at the video, we should go back and check this when they swim through. See if in the left hand or right corner you might see like a little bit of window still stuck. Because I know on the left side, when the window breaks, it'll actually still be stuck in the little flap inside the corners. It doesn't just break out and all fall out. It'll actually be stuck in at least two corners, the top and left corner, and depending on how it slopes in the front. I believe if you look at the right side window, the passenger side window, it looks like there is a broken out part. But you're right, it could have been down. But
I have to go and look through that.
I think it was broken out, and I think that the AWP diver actually said it was broken out.
No, he said it was down. He didn't say broken.
Okay.
We'll double check that, I think, when we get out of here, just to make sure.
I watched it a couple of times, but I'll go back and watch again.
I think he might have used a real neutral term, perhaps, because maybe he said it was not there or open, but if he said it was totally down.
I think he said it was down. I think he did say it was down in his first description, and then I think he went back and said it was broken out. The passenger window is broken out. I mean, I think
I'll go back and watch it again, because I was listening for that when I was watching it. I never heard broken or smashed, but I might have missed it.
And if you look at the video when the extraction was made, there is a broken window, but it was taken from the driver's side, and people just assumed that the driver's window was what the glass shards that remained. But I don't think it was. I think you're looking through the vehicle and looking at the passenger window. One was definitely broken.
The driver's side did have damage when they flipped it over. Yeah, the mirror and everything.
Well,
I was crushed into it.
I think I don't think that damage happened during the event. I think the driver, because if you look carefully at the video, and there's been a couple of other creators that have zeroed in on this, I don't think that there was any damage to the vehicle, because you're looking at the mirror, you're looking at the windshield, you're looking at the dents in the fender and the doors. None of that was there in the AWP video.
Right.
That happened after.
Right.
Right, but when they were underwater, was the passenger front window open? Which is the question. We're all pretty much on 100% same page that when it was underwater, the left side mirror was intact and the window.
Yep.
So when they either rolled it over or the mirror got bent in and broke the window when they were flipping it or whatever they did underwater, we didn't get to see. But was that right side broken out? And if it was, I would think they got out that side because maybe you couldn't get out on the left side. If it was turned over on its side slightly, we got to kind of take a look at that. Who knows? Maybe they were unable to break that left side out. But if you're upside down, your feet logically are going to swing to the right and try to break that window out, I think, more than getting out of your seat, going in the right passenger side, and then trying to kick out your left window. You know what I'm saying? If you're, you know what I mean? If you're the driver, I don't think I could kick out the left side of my window. I would try to kick out the right. Plus the fact that that's pointing upwards towards, you're naturally orientated to try to get above the water. In any case, it's a frightening situation. You only have a few seconds to decide. And kicking out a window, as we could see, 300-pound male or 250-pound male couldn't barely kick out that window.
It's not easy kicking out a window. Yeah. I've done it. It's not easy.
Right. And or you tried to do it. We all tried to do it in an old car or something like that. It was hard to do.
I flipped a car and I was upside down in a ditch, and I had to kick out the passenger window, and it took me a couple tries. Nobody could do it if there was water up against that window. Nobody. You are not going to kick that out. Impossible.
Now, did it spider web on you, and you had to like kind of force your way through the window?
No, the windshield will spider. The side windows, they shatter. They shatter into a million tiny pieces.
So when the actual mirror went into it, it probably just cracked it enough, shattered, and fell out.
I think whoever was driving the vehicle just simply had to rotate their legs 90 degrees over, and they would have more leverage kicking the passenger window, having a seat to push up against, or having the door to push up against. They would have a better chance of doing that than punching the window, that's 4 inches away from them. There's just not enough.
Oh yeah, you'd have to. You're not punching it out. You'd have to kick it. Yeah.
You might put your back on that steering wheel, and I think the shifter column is right there. I don't know about the CRV. I thought they said you can't knock it out of gear. On my Jeep, you can literally hit my stick and put it in any gear while you're driving. And I've kicked it out of gear a million times, but that seems to be what we need to find out. First of all, was it broken or was it down?
Yeah, just one second.
There's definitely glass shards visible, but I just don't know which window it was from.
Interview that a lot of people are talking
well,
about.
doesn't
he?
He takes a pretty good shot of that windshield, that side when he's underwater. We're just going to go back. I think it was the least interesting part of the video, so I don't think we looked at it too much. But definitely didn't look like there was a window there because you could see inside pretty well, clearly.
Just look at the close-up photos. When the vehicle was extracted, one window was definitely broken. It wasn't rolled down.
Oh, okay.
There's just a few remnants visible in the corner, the rear corner of the window, like where your elbow would sit.
On the driver's side, you mean?
No, it was on the passenger's. Well, the shot was taken from the driver's side, but I think we're looking at the glass through the vehicle, and we're actually looking at the broken glass on the passenger side.
Can I clarify this? Oh, I didn't even know it was on. Sorry about that.
Hello, Mike.
I thought I was doing the back room. To clarify the whole swimming thing, the diver went down the right side with the target upside down. That was the passenger window that was missing. When you swam around on the other side, he could see on driver's side back where the half window was open. If that
Yep.
helps you guys out.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we
he
were just
said it-
debating whether or not that window was rolled down or broken. But yeah,
I
apparently
couldn't tell.
AWP had said on other channels that it was broken out. So
When I looked at it, I could see little shards on that passenger side, like little shards that were still there. And I've even zoomed on it, and I've done my editing.
That's
Like, do
interesting.
you guys
then.
even have the video where I can
the AWP
I'll show
video,
you guys
yeah,
where
we've
I'm
all
talking?
seen it. Yeah.
Post it free now. I actually even like I put it in my effects program. I was able to like change the color, so I have a couple frames where I can see her in the back seat. It's very blurry. I couldn't get rid of the blur part, but it almost looks like she has her white sweatshirt on.
That's what a lot of people have said, is that they can see the white sweatshirt in there, they can see the Mac Pro in there, the Truly, which is quite obvious. I've been hesitant with people talking about, I think I see a body or I don't see a body. That's been the biggest talk in all groups.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it just looks like it. Who knows? But I mean, when you do color correct it, you can see objects. They just really put a real heavy blur on that, so you see what looks like an outline. It's only like 3 or 4 frames. It's open
Now,
to
when
interpretation.
you're watching the video, are you watching from the members' point of view, or are you watching when they re-edit it?
Oh, you telling me that we're getting a different free version of it?
There's been a lot of different people. There's been a lot of different.
There's a big difference.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Yeah.
I have the free version, which came out on the Friday, 2 days later. So I didn't know if that differed from the one the members got. I'm guessing you're right. It probably is.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Like the other one, you don't hear the Lori conversation in that. The other one, you do hear that. The one I've been trying to figure out, I keep getting Brittany more than I get Brianna, as the one fighting with the Kiely when they censor that out, and he blocked his mouth so nobody could read lips. But what's your guys' take on that one?
Did anybody else see the original version that was a member version? I didn't see that one.
It was
I'm talking about.
It's a little bit clearer, but AWP still did the right thing. They blurred it out. I think they just did the double blur on the free version.
No, what I was asking was when he was sitting on the boat and he was describing the whole thing, he came out and talked about a situation of Kiely fighting somebody, and when they said that other somebody, they censored it. And I haven't seen anybody try to figure out who it is. I keep thinking Brittany more than I did Brianna. So I'm looking like, but the thing I'm waiting for is to get the unedited version of that fight, because the only one they have right now is on TikTok, and there's a person talking. And I went to a different one, and you can actually hear the boys and girls yelling in the background. So I'm waiting for that user to send me that video without the editing connotation with it to hear what they are saying. Like, I'm determined to try to figure out an ID to almost everybody that's in that party. Nobody in YouTube that I've seen, or even on Facebook, are asking, like, who are these people?
Right. So you think these names have something to do with the fact that she is dead in the water, or you just want to know?
I'm not fond of that. Like Brian Upchurch for everything else he did, but getting to this point of saying it's fake, it's this. Now I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. This is a teenager that died. Why are you? It's like, why make a mockery out of it saying these conspiracy things when it's a dead person?
I think that Ryan is using the same tactic that the FBI is, and he
Well,
is just making the most outlandish statements to see who reacts. It's how he exposed Iqmel and Zanny Mae and everybody else, and he's just simply doing it again. The dude is smart, man. He may be ADHD, he may
my,
smoke some blunts, but
my
that's it.
problem is I've seen this happen with him before on Summer Wales, and that didn't get nowhere. This time he's getting a little more crazier on the conspiracy. It might give reactions and all, which you need because he's a celebrity. But I'm looking at this. Some people are rushing this too much. Like, we literally have 4 more weeks until the Cox report.
I just simply don't think that he's. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I said, why can't people wait until the Cox report and then we have discussions in all YouTubes and Facebook? This is an ongoing investigation.
I don't think he's doing it for clicks or views because his channel isn't monetized. I think he just kind of cares, and I think he's messing with people's heads, and it's the same tactic that the FBI uses. It's called tickling the wire. If at any point during an investigation leads go silent and people are quiet, the FBI and Ryan at first will post some outrageous shit in hopes of the guilty revealing themselves. There's no way that he's giving a Hellcat or donating money or whatever to a fake girl that never existed. He's doing it for a reason. He's trolling everybody on the internet. It may be the greatest troll of all time.
I kind of beg to differ on that because I've done my version of trolling, but I haven't done that in a long time.
Didn't Ryan say he was gonna? They were on a panel and they said they were gonna talk to each other offline together and discuss that. I thought they said they were gonna discuss all that by themselves.
That was on Zab Girl's channel.
Yeah. So
that one.
Yeah, I wonder if they were
talking. But they me on the panel, Mark.
Because I think AWP said.
I got head out. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
See, Mike. I thought AWP said that they do take donations, even though someone said they don't. And he said
they do on their website. Apparently, I haven't seen it.
What they said is that 99% of all rewards posted aren't real.
Oh.
The money just somehow magically disappears, or the GoFundMe's get taken down, like the day of or the day after they find people. And so they are relying truly on their YouTube channel and independent donations to make money. That's how they survive. That's how they do what they do. But they don't collect the reward money. I think that Jared applied for, and there was some missing case about a year ago that had $100,000 reward posted, and the day of them finding that individual, the donations were suddenly rescinded. He's only out of 500 cars that they found, 29 cold cases. He said that they've only collected one reward.
Okay.
Wow. But weren't there?
The passenger window is broken out. It appears.
There you go.
Okay, so in the dive video, AWP said passenger window is broken out. No, we've moved on from that, but yeah. So it was broken.
Yeah, he said.
Thanks,
he said,
honey.
He said it twice. He said it was down the first time we went around the vehicle, and the second time we went around the vehicle, he did confirm it was broken.
Well, I'm sure it takes a little bit of inspection to tell the difference between a broken underwater and, if you see the little shards in the corner, you might have been initially just, glancing at the car overall. But if they've been pulling out cars for I don't know how many years, I think they would know whether something looks broken or down. I think it's really important to whatever story they're trying to, or a case they're trying to crack. So I think a lot of people weren't giving them enough credit in terms of like how much they've seen, but I don't think they would get it wrong if they just said broken out. It's an important detail.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
And they said she's in back. Now, some people say you can easily get in the back because they put their car in the backyard and they climbed over the seat and said, look, I'm a man and I can get in the back. Turn the car over, fill it up with, I don't know how many, 2,000, 10,000 gallons of water within a couple seconds, and then get in the back for me. I don't think so.
There is a big difference between climbing into the back in your driveway and water rushing in and your vehicle turning over at the same time. But it's still, we can't rule it out. It is possible.
It is definitely possible.
It's not likely.
Well, that would say she has quick reflexes, because adults that were sober were having a hard time getting out of the car. Even getting out of the car when they had like a breather on, or they were able to escape out of like 3 feet of water. They said that if you roll the window down, now this is Mythbusters, you don't have that air bubble. It sinks quickly. So the theory they were saying is like she's in the back because she was chasing that air bubble. I don't believe there would have been an air bubble in there.
I think that there might have been.
Well, that'd be the last place to have air, because the vehicle pitches down.
If the vehicle pitches down,
The last place that would have air would be the hatch,
Yeah, exactly.
if it pitches down.
It could, yeah, all right. Well, I'm not going to disagree with that. Yeah. Well, she made the effort to go in the back rather than out the window, or even the front window, but which looks broken out. So I still think she was drunk, passed out, and somebody stuck her in the back.
Could
If
very
she
well
was
be.
up front, she could have. The window's broken. She could have got out there. She was in the middle seats. Windows half down. Still would have took that chance over chasing that air bubble.
I don't think she was conscious.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if anybody put her in the back, or if her hatchback was just open and she was stumbling back from the party and just sat down on the tailgate.
Well, one other option, and I've done this myself, I'm going to be honest with it. I mean, we've all overdrank, and then we're at someone's house or somewhere where we were able to sleep in our car. They were saying she was afraid to go home. Sounds like she had a great relationship with her mother. Maybe she wanted to sleep it off for a little bit. And if it wasn't all alcohol, you can sleep off cannabis. You can sleep off some of the other things that take a few hours to get out of your system. Then you're able to drive. She slept in there and somehow the car did flip into the water. She may have rolled her window down so she could breathe. And maybe she did lay herself in the back. I doubt she would have laid herself in the hatchback trunk. Honestly, I would have stayed in the front, because if there's an emergency, start the car and drive off if somebody's trying to break in your car. But the fact is that window is broken out on the right. Whether somebody was trying to rescue her later and broke through that window, I don't know. But it was broken out. And that's a weird key. Because it doesn't sound like she slipped in the water because she was sleeping. It doesn't sound like she was pushed in the water because they were getting rid of a body. It's still broken out. Sounds like an escape attempt from somebody who was driving. And that maybe that person didn't even know her. Maybe it wasn't like a Sammy figure. Maybe it was somebody who just happened to be still at the party and said, "Yo, bro, you guys go home. I'm going to stick with this girl. She's nice, but she's in trouble. Let me try to drive her home."
Well, the only problem I have with an accident theory is A, the car was not parked there for the party, and B, that's a long stretch for someone to accidentally drive down. But it is possible.
Would you think she knows the area well enough that you don't park in like the area that people are supposed to be in? And she said, "Oh, I've stayed on the beach before. Nobody gives you trouble here. Let me just sleep it off for an hour or two." I don't know how that campground works.
I think Sammy would have said that, because she said they went back to her car to charge the phone. She would have said it was parked there.
Well, in one of the videos or the streams that I've watched, they said that about the time that the party broke up, that there was two juniors that almost fought and shouted at each other, but they didn't fight. But one of the teams drove his car like a couple of 100 yards away and blocked the normal exit route and started playing loud music. And so people would have had to have found an alternative way to get out of the party.
Right.
And that's if you want to dig into it a little deeper, Alec. There's a girl named Sleuthy on Twitter, and she has got an awesome timeline, a timeline that many people have stolen. And she's got an excellent map just showing exactly everything that was on the party, where the party was. It wasn't in the Presser campground. It was in a place called the Sanctuary. That's on the other side of the road. And there's just it just clears a whole lot of stuff up.
Right. I might have seen that. It's like in a.
Okay, you guys, I got to stop you now. We've got other people wanting to come up and give their thoughts now. So
Okay.
Sure. I appreciate
Thank
it, brother.
you for letting me on.
yeah, absolutely.
Take care.
Yeah, that's good stuff. It could very well be they laid her in there drunk and someone accidentally drove in there. That's very likely. And I mean, who knows what the hell. Okay, MMA. Sorry you were waiting so long to come up. And now you're muted. Yeah, sorry about the feedback. StreamYard does that when people are on their phones sometimes. Some people's phones just don't like StreamYard. I don't believe investigators have said whether or not it's an accident. Be good to know. Well, MMA, if you want to come back up, by all means. If not, I'm going to be cutting this off because I got to get ready for dinner right away here. All right. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this one. But thank you to everyone for coming up and giving their thoughts, and for all of you for watching and chatting in the side there. Appreciate you. And we shall catch you later. I don't know if Cher's doing a live tonight or not. We shall see. And I don't know. I think Cher's making dinner, but I think I got to make the burgers. But yeah, we'll be getting at that. But thanks all for hanging, and we'll catch you later. Love you guys.